Shame is not the same as guilt. Guilt says, I did something wrong. Shame says, I am the wrong thing. And once shame takes over, your mind becomes a courtroom where you are always on trial. You prosecute yourself before anyone else can. You confess, over-explain, hide, perform, apologize for existing, or attack yourself in the hope that self-punishment will keep you safe. But shame does not make you accountable. It makes you disappear. By the end of this video, you will understand why shame feels so total, why it often forms around exposure, and how it keeps people trapped in self-punishment instead of repair. You will learn the difference between responsibility and identity collapse. And you will get a practice for stepping out of the inner courtroom long enough to tell the truth cleanly. Picture making a mistake. Maybe you forgot something important. Maybe you said the wrong thing. Maybe you disappointed someone. The moment you realize it, your body drops. Heat in the face. Tightness in the stomach. A voice begins immediately. Of course, you did this. You always ruin things. If they really knew you, they would leave. Notice how fast the mind moves past the actual event. It does not stay with what happened. It turns the mistake into a verdict about your entire being. Now you are not solving the problem. You are defending your right to exist. Shame often begins where love felt conditional on being acceptable. If your mistakes were met with disgust, withdrawal, ridicule, or moral panic, your nervous system learned that being wrong was dangerous. Not uncomfortable. Dangerous. So shame became a preemptive strike. If I punish myself first, maybe no one else will. If I hide the unacceptable part, maybe I can stay connected. If I become perfect, useful, funny, pleasing, impressive, or invisible enough, maybe the verdict will be delayed. This is why shame can look like humility from the outside. The person seems self-aware. They admit fault quickly. They may even be harsh on themselves. But underneath, they are not free to repair. They are trying to outrun exposure. Healthy guilt is specific and active. It says, I hurt someone. I need to listen, repair, and change. Shame is global and paralyzing. It says, I am bad, so nothing clean can happen now. Guilt moves toward repair. Shame moves toward hiding or collapse. The shadow pattern here is self-punishment as protection. If you make yourself small enough, maybe no one will attack. If you condemn yourself loudly enough, maybe others will forgive you faster. But over time, the self becomes a place you cannot live in comfortably. Here is the deeper trap. Shame often pretends to be accountability, but it can actually keep you from taking real responsibility. When you are drowning in shame, the focus shifts from impact to identity. Instead of asking, what happened and what repair is needed, you ask, what does this prove about me? The other person's pain becomes evidence in your inner trial. Their feelings become terrifying because they might confirm the verdict. This is why shame can make apologies messy. You may over-apologize, collapse, seek reassurance, explain too much, or make the other person take care of your shame. The repair becomes about relieving your self-hatred instead of honoring what happened. Integration begins by separating behavior from being, not to excuse the behavior, to make repair possible. The practice is the courtroom interruption. When shame rises, write 2 columns. In the first column, write the shame verdict. I am selfish. I am too much. I ruin things. I am unlovable. In the second column, translate it into a specific fact. I forgot to call. I raised my voice. I avoided a conversation. I made a promise I could not keep. Then ask what repair is available. Apologize once. Tell the truth without theater. Change the pattern where possible. Make a boundary if needed. Learn from the mistake without making the mistake your name. For today, notice one place where you are using self-attack as proof that you care. Then try this sentence. I can take responsibility without becoming a verdict. Say it slowly. The part of you addicted to punishment may not believe it yet. That is okay. You are teaching the nervous system a new route. One reason shame is so hard to release is that it can feel morally necessary. A part of you may believe that if you stop hating yourself, you will become careless. If you stop punishing yourself, you will repeat the harm. If you allow yourself dignity, you are letting yourself off the hook. But self-hatred is not the same as conscience. Often it is a way of staying busy with pain instead of practicing change. Real conscience is quieter and more useful. It does not need to destroy you to guide you. It can say, this was not aligned with who I want to be. It can say, I need to repair this. It can say, I need help with this pattern. Shame, by contrast, turns every mistake into a final identity and then wonders why nothing moves. This is why the body matters. Shame lives physically. It folds the shoulders, lowers the eyes, shrinks the breath, and makes visibility feel dangerous. When shame rises, gently lift your head. Feel your feet. Let your body know you are not in the old room anymore. You can face what happened without becoming trapped in the posture of a condemned child. You may also need to watch for shame that disguises itself as disappearing. Not every shame response looks dramatic. Sometimes it looks like not answering the message, abandoning the project, avoiding the person, or deciding you are beyond repair before anyone has even spoken. This is the courtroom, making a ruling in secret. Interrupt it by making one small movement toward reality. Ask what happened. Clarify the impact. Let the other person be real instead of letting your shame invent their whole response. Shame turns the mind into a courtroom, but healing does not happen in a courtroom. It happens in contact with truth. Specific truth. Human truth. Repairable truth. You are not helped by turning every mistake into a sentence against your existence. The work is not to become shameless in the careless sense. The work is to stop confusing self-destruction with responsibility. You can be accountable and still remain human. You can repair without disappearing. You can tell the truth without handing your whole identity to the judge inside your head. In the next episode, we go into perfectionism, why the polished self is often built from terror, and why being seen unfinished can feel so dangerous. Subscribe so you do not miss it. And today, when shame calls court into session, ask what specific repair is actually needed.